You guys got my Pascal Siakam video to 1,000 views in under a week. I just want to thank you guys. Obviously, you guys like these type of videos, so I'm gonna continue doing it moving forward. That was a nice little test. I didn't really have a lot of confidence in it, but yeah, you guys really did surprise me. So here's another one. Enjoy. Before the Skyhook touched the clouds, before the MVP trophy stacked up, before Kareem became a name spoken with reverence in basketball circles around the globe, there was Lew Alcindor, a quiet giant from Harlem, gifted, resilient, and black, in a time when being unapologetically black was a protest in itself.
Up now for tomorrow.
Things are shaping up beautifully. We have people coming in from all over the country. I suspect that we will have representatives from almost every state in the union.
His rise to greatness wasn't just about basketball. It was a battle against expectations, against injustice, and against a system that tried to silence him. This is the story of how racism fueled an NBA legend, the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar story. Born Ferdinand Louis Alcindor Jr. on April 16, 1947, in Harlem, New York, he was raised by a transit police officer father and a mother who worked in department stores. By age 9, he was already 5'8". By 12, he was 6'8", and by 14, he could dunk with ease. But even as his height separated him physically from the rest, what truly set Lew Alcindor apart was his mind. He was intelligent, observant, and curious about the world around him. Growing up in 1950s and 60s New York, he saw the civil rights movement unfolding around him, from the speeches of Malcolm X to the marches of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. While most kids were figuring out their jump shot, Lew was already questioning his place in America. At Power Memorial Academy, he became a national high school phenom, leading the team to a 71-game winning streak and 3 straight city championships. His dominance was so complete, the New York Times referred to his games as an exercise in inevitability. But not everyone celebrated his success. He was called names, treated like a spectacle, and constantly reminded that no matter how high he could jump, society still wanted to keep him in his place. When Lew arrived at UCLA in 1965, the world expected domination, and he delivered. But before he could even suit up for varsity, the NCAA announced a sudden and shocking rule change. Dunking was banned. On paper, the rule was about safety and sportsmanship, but in reality, everyone knew what it was really about. It was about him. The ban came right after his freshman year, his only year not on varsity, when in a scrimmage, he destroyed UCLA's varsity team, scoring 51 points. The NCAA couldn't stop him on the court, so they changed the rules to slow him down. It became known as the Alcindor rule. Lew responded the only way he knew how. He adapted. He studied post footwork, refined his finesse, and crafted a shot no one could touch: the skyhook. A move so fluid, so unblockable, it turned the act of scoring into an art form. Long arms, one leg up, wrist flicked, the ball soaring like poetry. Oppression tried to limit him. Instead, it pushed him towards greatness. Behind the scenes, Lew Alcindor, for the rest of this video known as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, was undergoing a personal transformation. In 1968, as America was shaken by racial unrest, From the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. to riots in dozens of cities, Lew made a powerful decision. He converted to Islam. It wasn't sudden. He'd been reading the Quran, learning about African history, and discovering a deeper sense of self. He changed his name to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, which means generous servant of the Almighty. In his own words, I was latching on to something that was part of my heritage, my roots, something that had been taken from me. But America wasn't ready. Too many white fans and media outlets, he became unpatriotic. The name change made headlines, not in celebration, but confusion. Some outright refused to call him anything other than Lew. He was constantly asked to justify his beliefs, to tone it down, to smile more, to conform. But Kareem didn't back down. In fact, he doubled down on using his platform for truth. He boycotted the 1968 Olympics alongside other black athletes, choosing not to represent a country that had treated people who looked like him as second-class citizens. He stood shoulder to shoulder with the likes of Jim Brown and Muhammad Ali in the fight for civil rights. Basketball was his passion, but justice, that was his purpose. In 1969, Kareem was drafted number 1 by the Milwaukee Bucks and wasted no time making his presence known. Rookie of the Year, NBA champion by year 2. By the time he was traded to the Los Angeles Lakers in 1975, he had already cemented himself as the league's most unstoppable big man. And yet, mainstream America still didn't embrace him. Why? Because Kareem didn't play to entertain. He wasn't flashy. He didn't clown for cameras. He didn't bite his tongue. He was often described as cold, aloof, or distant. But what they called distant, Kareem called dignity. He once said, "I'm not going to play the clown for you. I'm not here to be your entertainment. I'm here to play the game and play it better than anyone." And he did. 6 MVPs, 6 NBA championships, 19 All-Star selections, 38,387 points, a record that stood untouched for 38 years until LeBron James broke it in 2023. But what made Kareem truly special wasn't just the numbers. It was that he stood for something bigger than basketball. He was a pillar of black excellence, proud, principled, and unapologetic. Long before it was a Nike slogan or hashtag, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was the embodiment of more than an athlete. He earned a degree in history from UCLA. He studied jazz. He wrote books. He debated politics on late-night talk shows. He challenged presidents, literally. He was once blacklisted from TV interviews for being too political. Imagine that, the league's biggest star being shut out for speaking truth. Yet, he never stopped. Whether writing op-eds for Time magazine or mentoring younger athletes, Kareem carried the torch for athlete activists for decades. Without Kareem, there is no Kaepernick, no LeBron speaking out, no Kyrie Irving, no WNBA protests. He laid the blueprint. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's journey is not just one of dominance, it's one of resistance. He turned racism into a mirror, exposing the hypocrisy of a country that loves black talent but fears black truth. He turned a ban of dunking into a reason to master the most beautiful shot the game has ever seen. He turned rejection of his faith and identity into a lifelong mission to educate, uplift, and inspire. And today, he stands not just as a top 5 player all time, but as one of the most important athletes in world history. From the streets of Harlem to the rafters of the Staples Center, from Lew to Kareem, from silence to skyhooks. This is what happens when oppression meets brilliance. This is what happens when dignity won't bow. This is what happens when racism fuels a legend. You can't win unless you learn how to lose. I tell young people to prepare themselves as best as they can for the world that is ever changing. 2 great quotes by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Like, comment, and subscribe for more stories that go beyond the game. Thank you.